Hello, hello. Welcome to another live. We've had 3 this week. That's more than I usually do. Usually it's 1 a week. So we'll go back to that, but I've just had some amazing things happening with the gorgeous women in my network. So I wanted to get them on to talk about those things. Hi, Ray. I always like to do this at the start of any presentation, any interview. It's an acknowledgement of country. I am based in the Gold Coast, Australia, which is the Yagambeh people's land. They are the traditional owners of this land. I recognise their connection to land, country and waters, and I pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. Thank you for joining me here today. I'm going to welcome very soon the video ninja herself, Rebecca Saunders. I'm going to call her Beck. I know her as Beck, but she is Rebecca Saunders, the Rebecca Saunders. She has been, she's actually launching her video accelerator this week. And after this live, we'll chuck in the links so you can see. And if that's something that's going to float your boat, if video is something you need to be doing, Rebecca is the lady. So let's get her on. Hey, Beck. Here she comes. It always takes a second. I need like waiting music. So it says Beck's here, but I can't see her yet. So there she is.
Yes.
Hello.
I love that you need waiting music. Yes.
It always takes a second.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Instagram doesn't let us do fancy creative things. It's all still in the app. So
I know. I should just have my like other phone here, like do.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Super, fancy and connected. But you have a very full week because you are launching a course at the moment. So we are going to get straight to the point. Tell us, who are you?
So I'm Rebecca Saunders. I'm known by my clients as the Video Ninja. I run and operate a video production company that's global. That's pretty kind of fun and exciting to say. I've got a film studio in Sydney, Australia, and I run a signature program, the Video Accelerator, twice a year online. So a lot of video stuff of every different facet of video. Yeah.
And you have an awesome, actually downloadable that we will add. You go the 5 things that you must have for your DIY studio. Just tell me a bit about that. Because I think when people think about video, and you and I just here doing it, but they think that they need to like book a studio, and I can't do video until I'm ready. I can't do video until I have all these things. So if someone just wants to start, what are those things?
Okay, so the 5 things you should have really is a camera. So you've got your phone. That's the starting point. You're right here. Good audio. So you're either in a quiet space or you're using headphones. That's probably a good spot to go. Lighting. You're working really well. We've both got windows in front of us. I can tell. That's really good.
I can put my other light on if you want it.
Yeah, lighting, and then we've got stuff like clamps or props or things you can prop the camera up so that your eye line's right. So the download covers off literally no budget, as in stack it on a pack of books and like let's see what we can do, and all the way through to like the professional stuff that we would use in the studio, and then all the way along. So for me, it's definitely around. You don't have to go spend a lot of money on equipment. Like you just don't. Like there's some stuff that you can invest in. The one thing that I rave about, and it's in the book, in the download, is my little tripod. I absolutely love it. I can't even show you because I'm using it, right? I'm using it right now.
I know. I want to show mine too.
But it's a selfie stick, so it goes up and down. I can use it like whether I'm at the kitchen bench, whether I'm at the desk, and so that's been really great to invest in.
Yeah, so because mine is like this wire frame, and it's a clamp. Like when you said the clamps, that clips onto the desk. And then it's got just a little ring light, and then it's got the phone holder. So yeah, it's nice and steady. And it was, but for ages I didn't use that, but I just noticed that I was doing a lot of videos when I was walking and things like that. And, and I'm very gestury as you can see. So
You kind of want it to be hands-free, right?
Yeah. And then just not so that they're wobbling around. And so it helped, but it wasn't a huge investment. But it didn't mean I didn't start video until I had it. I was videoing and I could do this a bit better.
You can sort of step it up bit by bit. And even if you've got your laptop, if you've got a laptop that's got a camera in it, that's fine to start with. And then when you've got the cash, buy a webcam, you know, like just add to it slowly. You don't need the whole kit and caboodle. And it's why I have been doing the whole launch of the course this week and next from home, because I don't have my crews here helping me set this up. Like, it's just everything I'm doing at home as part of the launch, as part of all the lives and videos I'm creating, is I'm doing it from home with my own stuff, showing you how it's done and showing almost how easy it is. Because it should be easy. It shouldn't be a scary thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to back step a little bit. How did you get into video?
How did I get into video?
Yeah.
Okay, it's a bit of a backward story, but essentially I started I don't film or edit with the big cameras. So when we talk about the big DSLRs, like, I don't film with those. I've got a team that does that. And I don't do the big editing projects. iMovie, yes. You know, all the little stuff that we're teaching how to get into it, I do. But I don't do that stuff. So I just saw a gap in the market around the crews were really good, skilled craft at what they do. And clients know what they want, but they speak different languages.
Yeah.
So it was around bridging that gap. For me, it was bridging the gap. I started my business and sponsored myself to stay in the country. So it was kind of like, we're doing this and we're doing this hard because it has to work. I want to stay. And that's over time has evolved. So it was always going to be a nationwide production team. It's now a global team. We took on the studio, and I've kind of, over the years, because I don't do the doing as such, it is a case of I can see slightly differently how clients want to access videos. So
yeah,
we were one of the first to start packaging video up. So it's like, this is the set price and this is what you get. There was no variables in it. And I think as soon as we started changing our mindset to that, it sort of grew. I mean, that's sort of a whole story of the whole business, I suppose. And yeah, that's how I started. I just sort of fell into it and launched a company to sponsor myself. So it's a very random story.
No, it's so good. And then now, you know, what you're seeing is, and especially over the last year and a half, I know we've talked about this before, but you know, when people couldn't, even if they wanted to, used to go to studios and all that sort of stuff and do this recording, this type of thing became even more crucial. So what's happened for you in that last 18 months?
Oh my gosh, the last 18 months has been insane. So if we just scroll back to sort of March, April last year, when the whole world was going like, oh my gosh, what's going on? I decided just to open my calendar. So to start with, it was just, we are a decade ahead, literally, we've just turned 10, a decade ahead of most people because we know video. We know how to do it. So I opened my calendar up. I shared it with clients. You know, if you're struggling, if you want to chat, and it doesn't have to be video, but I'm there to answer your video questions. And so that opened a lot of doors and a lot of conversations for us and our clients and our network. But it's been a lot of virtuals. We've been able to do, like, I call them virtuals. It sounds a little bit weird, but like last year, people would come into the studio, even if it was just one or two members of the leadership team, and they'd come in and do the filming, and we'd broadcast it out to their global teams or whatever that looked like. Now, this past lockdown has very much been around, no one wanted to go anywhere because it was way more scary. Yeah. And so we were doing virtual. So we were still in our studio space, but no one was coming in. And so it's just been it's been a mind shift for us as well, very much so. But it's been great to be able to adapt and help organizations, from individuals, not-for-profits, up to big multinational corporates, leverage the power of virtual. It's been a lot of fun.
That's so good and so generous of you to open that up and to help people, because video, it was so often reserved for people with budgets, and it was for TV advertising or movies or whatever. Like, if you want to be, or you're doing home video, like it's just for your personal use, and it's, you know, your dad with the camcorder type thing out. It's now this time where we are all content creators, and we are all, you know, like the news goes to people, like they'll take things off Instagram and off other people, you know, take their videos and they're using those on national television. And so now we're in this position where we are in control of the video and have this opportunity, but people are still so scared. Like, what do you find with people when they're coming to you? They're so scared to put themselves on camera.
I think the thing is they're scared of looking like an idiot, right? And they're scared of looking like an idiot on camera
Clearly not
and
my
getting
problem.
it wrong. So that's the one biggest thing. And the sort of the second fear to that is, what do I say and how do I do it? Like, what do I actually do when I'm pressing record? So even if you take all of the equipment stuff out of it, like it's that confidence in themselves and what they're talking about. So that's the first things we've got to overcome. And then the third fear that I'm hearing a lot is, well, will anyone listen to me? Will anyone like actually pay attention to these videos? So we've got all those fears going on in your mind, and it's preventing you from hitting the go button or hitting the record button, or, you know, hitting that live button, as scary as that one is, and going, well, what do I do with that? Like, how do I get myself to it? And the answer to it is practice. Like, it's a muscle that you've got to build. It is something like that. But nobody likes the sound of their own voice or the way they look on camera. Like, every time I'm on video, I look at myself and go, oh, your eyebrows aren't quite even today. Like, oh, you've drawn them a bit weird. Like, every time I look at it and go, that there's something that I'll nitpick. And I'm okay to nitpick at it, and it's fine. It's me. No one else will ever notice it. But it's getting over that thing, because otherwise you'll never share the videos. I've got clients that have made videos and never shared them because they don't like the way they look. Like, it's mind-boggling, because it's the way you look. Like, it's all about the confidence piece of self, and not just as well as the tech. Do you know what I mean? It's a combination. But all of it is practice. All of it.
Yeah.
People
and you know
hate me
what
when I
you said
say
about
that.
the audience. Yeah, but what you say, the audience, it's like, you know, unless you are one of these huge companies and you're paying for the audience and you're doing all this promo and all this sort of stuff, you're not going to launch or do your first thing and have 10,000 viewers. So one, don't be worried that all these people are going to see you do a video, because look, we're not Kim Kardashian. We don't have all those followers. They're just not going to be
Exactly.
And then, you know, today there's 3 people. I mean, they're popping in and out. But there's 3 people here, and it's like, we don't go, oh, there's only 3 people. Well, we're going. You know, it's like, if we can give those 3 people, you know, some information and help them, and by sharing a message, those 3 people could go away and do something amazing. Like,
yeah,
it doesn't matter if it's 3 or 10 or 1,000. You should show up.
You should show up. Okay. Show up, be consistent. And so the consistency thing is, you know, I'm going live once a week, and I'm doing like you're doing now. You're doing an amazing job at going live once a week with other people, because you're not by yourself. You're not talking to yourself, you know.
Just hanging out with my mates, really.
Yeah, you've got other people hanging out, like making friends, like building bigger friendships, actually having someone to talk to rather than just talking to a blank screen, because I tell you that in itself is hard, right, to talk to no one. So you could start small with something like that. But the thing that people sort of semi-forget when it comes to sort of putting that content out there is, it's over time that it will get views, you know. I talk a lot about leaving all that content up there as you practice, leaving it up there, because it may be that someone tunes in when you're on like video 20 in 20 weeks time and goes, I really like this, I'm going to go back to the beginning, and then they start watching them. So it's the more you create content and the more you show up, and the consistency in doing that, which over time would bring those views in.
Yeah, absolutely. And we all have to start somewhere, and you know, it's kind of fun in a way to see back and, you know, have a little cringe at where you were, or
Yes.
I don't know, or not even, you know, it's like, it's always going to feel a bit funny when you start, but then you're not going to get any better, and that fear is not going to go away by not showing yourself, and by building up to be this thing. And then when you do get some really great opportunity where somebody's like, hello, I'd like to come and have you on my live and interview you and give you this opportunity to be in front of an audience, and then you're packing it because you've never ever been on video.
Exactly. Yeah. It's you've got to start somewhere. You hit the nail on the head. You've just got to start, and it's not a matter of when I, like, it's just go for it.
Yeah. Do it today. Anybody's watching, this will be a lovely challenge. Do a story. It's a real safe space on your own thing. Do a story, like, name us, be like, hi, you know, at Lovely M, and hi, that, you know, at the Rebecca Saunders, I'm doing this story for you.
And we love that, you know. It's 15 seconds. 15 seconds. You can cram so much into 15 seconds. Like, it's you know, or just popping in to say hello.
That is the point, isn't it? If you're having, and for me, that's where why I've started the podcast. You've also just started a podcast, which is fantastic. The reason I've started a podcast, because for me, speaking is easy. And although I'm a writer, I find that sometimes as well, I write well, I find that to get into that zone and to get into that space, it takes me a lot longer. And sometimes I'll have this really great idea, but then when I go to write it, it's not coming out as nicely. Yeah. So I'm finding that speaking on the podcast, the ideas, and then, as you said, having a conversation with someone is even more dynamic. And I'm almost in this, almost in my coaching space, it's so much more enjoyable. And what would take me a couple of hours to write, I can say in a couple of minutes and have so much more impact.
Exactly.
I can share this point, and not only are you hearing the message, you get to see me, and you know, and then I get to use that piece over and over again.
You can, and it's you know, it's the part of the leveraging the magic is what I call it. It's like being able to use it in so many different ways on so many different platforms. You know, your video, without going from, hey, just start, this is a, you know, let's take it even further and go, with one video, I think you can create 20 pieces of content easily. You know, you've got your audio that you can rip out, make that a podcast or a soundbite. You can chop it into shorter chunks. You can put it on Instagram. You can turn it into posts. Pull out quotes and stuff. Like, there is so much you can do, or one of your team members, if you're lucky enough to have a team or a VA, can do. And all you've got to do is have an impact by showing up and doing 2, 3, 15 minutes worth of speaking to a camera.
Yeah.
It sounds so simple. It does sound so simple. It's just having the courage and the confidence to hit the button.
Yeah. And I totally recognize that is a little bit more daunting, and there's that possibility of it being out into the world, but then there's also opportunity of it being into the world. And I had a beautiful chat with a friend last night, and she said that she put a video into her first announcement email of her rebrand, and it's on her homepage. It's her showing her product box, and she's like, I hate watching it. I sound monotone. I don't like this. I don't like that. And she said, you know, I keep thinking Emma would be so proud of me for doing this. And I'm like, and I am so proud of you.
It's so good. It's so good. You know what? You don't have to sit and watch yourself. You're like,
no,
just
do
it and put it out there. I mean, don't talk for the sake of talking. Obviously, you've got to have something meaningful to say. Like, we're not just saying get online and have a rant and have just a ramble. But you're not your target market. You're not watching it, so it doesn't matter whether you think you look or sound good at all. Like, it's a driving force for marketing, for business growth, for reach to a new audience and wider audiences. So that's what you've got to remember, that you're not your target audience when you're watching this stuff back.
And it just doesn't give you that such. And I met you on a Business Chicks call. We met last year on a Business Chicks call, and the first thing was, you know, oh cool, we'll connect. Anybody want to connect? Go to @Rebecca Saunders, and saw you had stories. So I started watching. You know, I was like, oh, watch your stories. And then, you know, went, oh, check her Instagram. It's like, oh, she's a video person. And I was like, fair play, Beck. You're on video, and you're on the video a lot. And it was like, cool. Like, she does video, and she's showing up on the video. And I got to know you and got to know about you. And I got this, you know, this 360 version of you. So even though we had actually met, we didn't get to really talk. I got to get to know you more. And then by the time we did get to see each other in person, thankfully, at a conference, it was like, you can just pick up where you've left off.
It's like you know the person. It's like you've known them for years because you're watching and you're involved in their life. Like, and I think that's a really cool thing to do. And I'm going to say this with caution for people that go, well, hold on, I haven't done any video at all, and you're telling me to put my whole world on the internet. Like, no. Like, take it in stages. But I think the cool thing about it is when you're integrating stories and showing your behind the scenes, or showing how you do the job that you do or make the product that you do, and you integrate that into the stuff that makes you human and makes you who you are, then you do get that 360 perspective from an audience. I don't show everything, but I show, you know, at all. But you'll see that I'm a huge cook. So of an evening and of weekends, like, my feed will go from talking business and work to, I'm just going to show you what I'm making in the kitchen today. Like, it's a Wednesday night and I'm going to homemade pasta. Like, who does that? I do. Like, and it's kind of cool. It's something that's a talking point, you know. How in the middle of launch week have you got time to make fresh pasta? Just happens so easily, you know. So in doing that, it's funny, and it breaks up the whole work conversation. So I think if you're going to be using stories, you need to use them in that way. not just constantly. You want to be educating and inviting people, but not preaching at them.
Well, and to get you to know, and so there's like a few different, like how you get your message out there and how you share your videos. And if the salesy thing feels too much, and if it's talking about your message is too much, like my friend did, you know, if this is too scary, show what you do. Like you said, the behind the scenes, that's great. Here's my product. Let me show you my product. And then we're seeing you, but the focus can be on the product.
Your product.
Let me show
or
you
your service or anything like that.
Yeah. Or let me teach you how I do something, but just at least we get to see you. We don't want to just see your screen. We don't want to just see how you work through things. It's like, hello, I'm Emma. I'm going to show you how I do this. Great.
Exactly.
Hi, Emma. Nice to meet you, you know.
People buy from people. Humans buy from humans. Like, you've just got to build that persona there. Yeah. Build that relationship.
It's so good. And I will just touch on really quickly, like for you, you've just been through a big change and you show up on camera all the time, but you know, you've had this, you know, just give me sort of an overview of that, like how you show up on camera. It changed a lot, how you show up with your clients. How did that feel? And you going through that process, was it almost like starting again, or?
Yeah, you know, it's kind of cool. Like, it wasn't necessarily starting again. So for anyone like watching now or watching the replay later, like if you scroll down through my Instagram page, you'll see that like up until 3 or 4 months ago, like I had this amazingly cool like blonde wig and it was amazing. And if you scroll further, they're all different colors and everything was, so I've had so many different colors. I've had alopecia since I was 7. So that's what, 25 years now. And I did go, you know what, bugger it. It's the middle of lockdown, like wearing a mask and a wig and all this stuff is just way too much. And I just stopped wearing hair. And it's been amazing. It's been one of those things where I've gone, ooh, this is how it feels to be comfortable in your own skin. Like, oh, that's kind of cool. And in doing it, I thought I was practicing what I preach, right? Be you in front of the camera, do whatever. But actually, no, I am being me in front of the camera now in all my like raw glory. And in doing that and showing up in that way, I'm way more energetic on camera. I know I am. Like, it's just way more authentic for me to even be me. But it's inspiring to others, and it's inspired others to go, oh, maybe that isn't a flaw. Like, maybe I could embrace it as a superpower, or, oh, you've managed to do it. Like, maybe I can get in front of the camera. It's not that scary. And so, yeah, I'm hoping it has been an inspiration to others, and will continue to do so, actually, as that grows, because, oh my gosh, part of me wishes I'd done it sooner, because it's made it, you know, my business and my reach has gone so much further, because everyone's like, oh, who is that person that looks a little bit different? Like, well, tune in there. So yeah, embrace your uniqueness. It's kind of cool.
Absolutely. And you help people with that, and it's so lovely. That's the thing, isn't it? Coaching, you're like telling everyone, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I could do so many things. And that's what I say to my clients, why don't you do this way? And I'm like, you know what, I'm going to get on stories, or I'm going to do this, you know, I'm going to do it with you. Let's do it together. But we do go into your story more on the podcast, which is coming out in a couple of weeks. So Live and Love Your Brand. Rebecca's doing there as well. Tell us quickly about your video accelerator, and I'm going to pop that link into the stories as well. So you've got this awesome course.
I do, yeah. So the video accelerator doors are only open for a few days. For a week. It's open twice a year. It's 6 weeks with me, and I've opened it deliberately this side of Christmas, knowing that everyone is a little bit fatigued, tired, the energy is weird, because actually I don't want people to take their foot off the gas, right? It's really easy to sort of go, I'm just going to shut down over the festive period and just, it's been a big year, but we want to keep the momentum going. So the 6 weeks we're covering off like bite-sized chunks, that literally things that you can learn now and then action in the new year, but you've got them and you've learned them. So across those 6 weeks, very top level, it's, you know, how do we even set you up to start with? Let's get you in the right headspace. Let's get you camera confident to start with. Let's show you how to film on your iPhone or your webcam, or set your Zoom settings up correctly. You know, it's all the little bits that are just going to be helpful in the long run. And I'm just really excited. I'm actually really excited to do it, because it's one-on-one time with me once a week. So I want to meet people's journeys and see their journeys as well. Yeah. But the studio space is completely full. Like, there is no other capacity to work with me this side of Christmas. So come and do it.
If you want to work with Beck,
now. Yeah,
this is it.
Cool.
This is it. It's so good. And like you said, it's not that you just do these 6 weeks and it's great to go through it with you, but those are skills and tools that you're going to take. So if video is something that you're worried about, struggling with, and thinking about, do not delay any further, because it's not going to get easier. It's not going to get better. It has to just be a practice and start and why not have an expert in your corner?
Come and have fun. Come and have fun with the experts. Yeah.
Well, I'm wishing you all the best with the launch. It's been beautiful to watch.
Thank
You're a joy. Thank you for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
Bye, everyone. Follow
thanks
Becky
for watching.
at the Rebecca Saunders, therebeccasaunders.com.
I am at the Rebecca Saunders on all social media platforms, and you can find me at rebeccasaunders.com.
Perfect. All right,
beautiful.
Everyone. Thank
Happy
you.
Friday.
Bye.